Story 1. The Stalker in the Shadows. There are two possibilities, and neither of them brings me peace. For years, 4 to be exact, I had the same recurring nightmare. It always started in a dimly lit house I didn't recognize, but somehow knew. I had been in before. The layout was foggy but consistent. Hallways stretched too long. Doors that should have led to closets opened into pitch-black rooms. And there was always this overwhelming sense that someone was watching me. No matter how the dream twisted or changed, it always ended the same way. I'd reach a room with a single window, and standing outside would be a boy. Tall, thin, just a silhouette at first. And then his face would begin to take shape. At first it was blurry, until it became clearer. And always, it was Brian. Brian was a kid from middle school, not someone I was ever close to, or even thought much about. We were in a few classes together, and I maybe talked to him 3 times in total. That's what made it so weird. Why Brian? Why this random kid my brain had apparently decided to haunt me with? I finally mentioned it to my parents after one particularly disturbing night where I woke up screaming. I remember my dad looking concerned, and my mum oddly quiet. I asked if they knew anything about Brian. Maybe we'd cross paths outside. Of school? My mum hesitated, then said something I'll never forget. He used to ride his bike through our street. You'd wave to him from the porch sometimes. That was it. No big reveal. Nothing sinister. Just a strange coincidence. But something about her tone felt off. One night, I had the dream again, but this time it felt different, more vivid. Like I wasn't just dreaming, I was reliving something. Brian's face in the window was more real than ever. He smiled, then lifted his hand and tapped the glass. That's never happened before. The sound echoed in my ears even after I woke up. When I opened my eyes, the house was quiet. Too quiet. I tiptoed down the hall, heart racing, and peeked out. The front window, and I swear on everything, there were tire tracks in the driveway. I asked my parents the next morning if they'd heard anything strange. They shrugged it off. But I know something happened that night. I know someone was there. Was it Brian? Was it someone else? I'll never know. What scares me most is that I might have been stalked for years and didn't even realize it, or worse. My brain created a monster from someone completely innocent, and that monster found a way into my reality. Story 2. The Dolphin in the Dream. This happened just a couple of weeks ago during a sleepover at my friend Duncan's place. There were 3 of us, me, Duncan, and Ian. Duncan's parents were out of town, so we crashed in the living room on these massive, comfy couches. I'm someone who always falls asleep to some kind of background noise. Thunderstorms, chess videos, podcasts about space, you name it. But that night, I had nothing. No ambient sound to guide me into a controlled dream. And that's where everything started to unravel. In the dream, I was out at sea on a tiny sailboat. The water was wild, waves tossing the boat violently. The sky above was a churning mix of purple and grey, the wind howling like it had a voice of its own. Suddenly the boat lurched, hitting something unseen. Water started pouring in through a crack underneath. I panicked, trying to plug it with my jacket. That's when a dolphin, yes, a dolphin, leapt out of the water, locked eyes with me, and said in perfect English, "Wake up." I bolted upright, breathless. But what greeted me wasn't peace. It was confusion. My eyes scanned the room. Everything looked normal. Duncan and Ian were still fast asleep. But then I heard it. A rushing sound, not a drip or a leak, but gushing, like a hose turned on full blast. It was coming from upstairs. I crept up the stairs slowly, each step amplifying the noise. At the end of the hall, the upstairs bathroom door was slightly open. From where I stood, I could see the faucet, turned all the way on. Something felt wrong. I stepped closer, but stopped at the threshold. The bathroom had too many blind spots. Behind, the tub, the door, the awkward corners. Every inch screamed trap. I turned and ran downstairs, waking Duncan. I told him someone might be in the house. He grabbed a flashlight, and together we went back up. The second Duncan stepped inside, everything exploded. A man lunged from behind the tub, slamming into Duncan and swinging a piece of PVC pipe like a weapon. I didn't think. I just reacted, throwing myself at the intruder. The three of us wrestled, shouting, struggling. He was strong, stronger than both of us combined. Eventually, he shoved us away and sprinted down the stairs and out the front door. By the time police arrived, he was gone. The entry point, a downstairs window, unlocked, open. Police said it was a random break-in, but why turn on a faucet to lure someone upstairs? Duncan's convinced the man knew his parents were out of town and expected him to be alone. I don't like thinking about what would have happened if I had gone into that bathroom alone, or what would have happened to Duncan if I hadn't been there. Sometimes I wonder if the dolphin in my dream didn't save me. Maybe it saved both of us. Story 3. The light beneath the door. This happened a few months ago on a Friday night. My girlfriend Bonnie had the house to herself. Her parents were off on a weekend getaway. That meant I was finally allowed to stay over. Bonnie's house was in one of those cookie-cutter suburban neighborhoods. Quiet. Too quiet. The kind of place where by 10 p.m. the entire street feels abandoned. Her bedroom overlooked the backyard and a dark line of trees that framed the property. At night, those woods looked like an endless black void. We fell asleep around midnight. Her queen-sized bed gave us plenty of room to stretch out. Then, the dream started. I woke up to the sound of a door slamming downstairs. Footsteps, rapid and heavy, charged up the stairs. I shot upright in bed, ready to react. But something felt off. Bonnie's room looked exactly the same, every detail in its place. But beneath the door, a thin yellow glow bled into the room, a sliver of light, steady and unnatural. I couldn't look away from it. My vision tunneled into that line of light, and I froze. The footsteps grew closer, then stopped. Then came the voices. First one, a woman. She spoke in cruel, calculated tones, insults about me, my appearance, my future. But then, she began saying things she shouldn't know, memories, secrets, confessions I'd never told anyone. Then more voices, a chorus of them, each one digging deeper, exposing parts of me I didn't even know I'd buried. I couldn't take it. I ran to the door, flung it open, and everything went black. The lights snapped off. The voices fell silent. The air turned ice cold. And just before the dream ended, just before I woke up, I felt something watching me. Not from outside, not from down the hall, but from inside the room.